How's it going, guys? It is Lako here, and today we got another video for you guys of F1, and this time it's a little bit different. We got some league racing for you guys. I've been waiting to do this for a while, and decided why not now? Since a new season started in the BRL, we got round one of season 3. Technically, I mean it's the first season of this league, but or of this rebrand, but the league has been going for 2 seasons. But this is the third season of the league. We're doing qualifying, of course, giving you the hottest lap of the session that I could get. But yeah, this is a league that a few of my buddies do, and I figured why not spread it over to YouTube. In this video, it's going to be just me talking over the gameplay. There is no gameplay sound. But if you want to see potentially just my live reactions to videos, let me know in the comments below. We can try maybe next episode if there's enough interest to just throw in the background and actually get my live reaction to the race. But anyways, we're doing Austria. This lap was going pretty good. Honestly, time trials have been really hit or miss in terms of getting valid lap times, as we get a decent P2 as of the round. We end up P4. We end up falling just short of Braided Axe. He ended up getting us on the final bit. I think I did like 4 laps, and I only got that lap that you just saw valid. My final lap, I was purple first and second sector. I was up massive in terms of time, and then I ended up losing a whole 3/10 off of one of the corners in sector 2, or the third sector. But yeah, moving on to the race. I'm gonna try to keep it real with you guys. I'm gonna try to keep these videos nice and short because some of these races can be very dull and boring, like this one kind of was for most part. But other than that, yeah, I hope you all enjoy. Be sure to drop a like. Let's get 5 likes for a league race. I think it'd be pretty cool. You should see these weekly, but yeah. We are in the second row of the first race of the season. This is actually the highest I've ever qualified in this league. So usually I'm in like 12th or 15th, but we go to 5 red lights. As it's lights out and away we go. We had a little bit of wheel spin as we get into the second gear. You can see someone's coming up to our left, staying, giving space to the leaders. We cut inside a little bit, but Braided taps into J, and then we get spun into. So that's just turn 1, and we're now down to P17 after that unfortunate spin. We were in the second row, and we end up spinning out as we're now going on to turn 3. And you can see another leader spun out in Tag Mata. So 3 of the top 4 are no longer at the front. They're at the back. So now we're behind Zona and Akalia as we're going to get this first lap in after, it is sometimes really hard to keep your cool in these races because they're actual people, they're not AI, they have feelings, they have different strategies. As Zona kind of lagged out, I think I might have had a little bit of a lag issue at the start of this race because it just didn't seem right that he went so wide there to let me through. Maybe I accidentally pushed him off, who knows. But we did get the overtake on Zona. We're up to P15, and in this league you do score points if you're in the top 15. So I think that's what's really nice about this league. It really motivates players like me who, I'm not a good driver in this league. I'd say I'm just outside of top 10 in terms of all the drivers. So, top 15 keeps me motivated to keep doing these and, keep pushing. As Urinate went a little bit wide, so we're actually now right behind Akalia in this second lap here. I thought about making a move on the inside, but clearly I would have had to brake really late, and he was already turning in, so there was just no point in risking it right there. So didn't lose too much to him. We're still really close, saving that ERS. We're going to really push in the second lap because we want to overtake him on the next lap. But, with the fuel load and dirty air, it gets a little tricky to get used to. But as we're talking about this, in this league, we are using, all the original teams, and I'm actually a team lead for Haas, so I control all the drivers and signings. And basically, imagine this being the Gunther Steiner career mode in a sense. But yeah, all equal cars as Tag Mata goes in the inside. He's like one of the best drivers in the league, so there's no point in causing a fight. This is actually one of those tracks you don't want to fight anybody because you can lose so much time to those that are just in open, clear space. And the undercut is going to be crucial to the game plan here, as we are now lap 3. We end up going back to P15, so we're in points right now. Just trying to see what Tagmata and Acalia do. As it gets a little close, they do touch, and I end up making a move in the inside, and for some reason that was an illegal overtake. So I stay off the racing line, slow down, but Acalia didn't register that and ended up hitting me at the end. I think it was just because he was trying to, keep that DRS train behind us. So we end up having wing damage, having to pit, and now we're on these mediums on lap 5. First person besides myself to also pit is Helly. But yeah, now we're at the very back and we're on these mediums. We gotta go a whole 30 laps to see what we can do, what's left of this race. Still plenty of time, in this league. Safety cars are always going to be an option, a lot more of a possibility than doing the My Team with the AI. But it looks like in F122 the AI will make more mistakes, so there could be more chances of safety cars. But right now, safety cars is what we need. My teammate, on the other hand, at this very moment was up into P3. He started at the grid on 11th, could have been in 7th. Like the top 10 were only separated. They were all very close. In the quali, but we see Lil Shaq causing a spin, so we get our first overtake since the incidents that we got, and our second one on Stas in the pit. So he's on a lot fresher mediums, while our tires have now been going for 6 laps now. So it's gonna be a grind. It's a very long, patient game. We can see, Kalia's up ahead, Helly's up ahead. They have their time penalties. We're, luckily so far doing really good in this race in terms of time penalties. Gotta try to keep up the momentum afterwards. But we move on to lap 15 because really I wasn't gaining on anybody. Helly ended up having to pit, was moving up in front of the pack. Around this point, though, you can see my teammate, as we almost spun, we just got past Acoustic Crunch. My teammate is now right ahead of us. He was driving this race with COVID. This man, absolute legend. He was doing really good in this entire race. Unfortunately, at this point was when he actually was suffering wing damage because someone brake checked into him a little too early on one of the corners. So we're just trying to catch up to him. We see Acalia is up there with him. If I had to say right now who's my rival to beat every race, it would be Acalia, as we have a fail spin on the do not touch curve, as all the progress we gain is now gone. We're back to 18th, and now we're right behind Zona, one of my good buddies over in this league. Earlier we overtook him, so now we're on attempt number 2 to try to gain on him. We got to keep the DRS and use the ERS. Unfortunately, we lost all that progress, so we got to gain back again. So moving up there, we get the DRS zone. This is where we got to make our move on Zona. We have so much more speed. He stays to the right. I go to the left and get on the braking line, and we can see both Williams are right next to each other as we almost spun again at that corner. That corner can really get you sometimes. But yeah, respectful overtake by Zona. Zona, one of the safest drivers out there and one of the most respectful. If he usually stays and holds his ground on one side and lets you just go for the move. He usually doesn't defend too hard, as we're going for another overtake, this time to the inside of Acoustic Crunch, as we break a little later than him, and we're going to push him just a little wide. He didn't go for the switchback, which saved us, honestly. We ended up gaining the lead of him. He is going to have DRS, so we are pushing all of our ERS. We're within 6 seconds of Stas in terms of the penalties, but we are back in the points, and as it stands, we're currently P14 if the race were to end right now, but we're only at the halfway point, really. So just got to keep pushing. Really got to see what we can do with these medium tires. We've been on these tires for 14 laps now. It's coming to the point where they're not going to hold as much ground, and Stas is on the fresher medium, so we're trying our best to catch up with him, and we're able to get good pace as we get a little bit slip up. I'm just noticing these tires are starting to slide a little bit. Our teammate finally made the decision to just pit with that wing damage, try to get as much as he can, and later on we end up finally taking our pit, but we end up just smacking him right in the rear. Team orders just let me through. We end up getting a 3-second penalty during that collision, But yeah, thank you, Nate, for being a really huge team player, letting me through on the fresher softs. The goal with these softs was to just get all the way to the end with them, but we were being told that rain was a possibility, and you know, we were behind Stoss and he was on those tires, but we ended up going for the undercut. It worked out in our favor. We're getting more time penalties, as you see. We're at 6 seconds now. For some reason, like, I was just really falling apart with these softs when I should have had like a lot more grip, because you know, we have lighter fuel, fresh tires, but yeah, we just couldn't really keep our focus. But right now, up to P14, trying to aim for J-Hex and Acoustic Crunch. It looks like we are having a battle with the Williams as we get our first retire of the session, which is Little Shack of McLaren. Really unfortunate race for him. He had a lot of early spins and issues, but now we're coming into lap 30 to 36, and there's actually rain happening at this period. We're up into P13. We end up getting past Acoustic and Stoss as well. I think Acoustic, if I recall, pitted. But once again, we're behind Zona, our good buddy. You know, it just happened. You know, this race, I end up having to overtake him 3 times. And, you know, he holds the same line like usual, so I decided to stick with the same side. Stick with my normal braking. Now we're in the top 12. We're aiming to try to get up to J-Hex, but with 9 seconds of penalties, it's really just push so we could stay within points, because it's going to be really scary, as unfortunately our teammate, he ended up spinning and crashing out, as we're in this weird period in the race. It's raining, but it's not interweather, but it's barely comfortable slick weather. And with my tires the way they are, these softs, I'm pushing them extra couple laps than they really should be. So like my tires, yeah, 40%. The front tires, it's hard to turn, it's hard to keep grip. So we got to keep our delta. But as we're on the final lap, we're in the top 10, just behind Euronate and J-Hex with 3-second penalties, and then me and Stoss with 12. Zona comfortably in P12. He just doesn't have to make any mistakes as we're coming around the final sector of this race. But yeah, we almost ran out of fuel in this race. The safety car saved us from what could have been like a final 2 laps of no fuel. Fallon gets the race win, but with penalties we'll fall back, as the race ends right there as we're sitting at P11. You know, Zona, no penalties. Aston Martin, they were set in the power rankings to be a really low end team, but I have much more faith in them. Zona's good at not getting penalties, and Zach, when he gets pace, will get pace. So yeah, end up P11. We still get points. Tagmata with the race win. Jay, Fallon, that's your top 3. But yeah, guys, that is going to be it for the video. I hope you enjoy. Be sure to drop a like if you want to see more of this, and expect these weekly. And I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace out.